Hey everybody, Steve here in Apple Valley, California, and I'm here this morning to visit the gravesite of actor and singer Johnny Crawford. He's buried here at Sunset Hills Memorial Park. I guess I shouldn't say buried. His ashes are interred here in a cremation niche on the outside wall of the Roy Rogers and Dell Evans Sunset Chapel. Some of you may remember that I was here about 5-6 years ago visiting the grave sites of Roy Rogers and Dell Evans. They're buried here just inside the front gate. As you come in, the front gate is just to the left. And I'm going to visit the gravesite again today and walk around the cemetery again today. On that video that I shared all those years ago, I walked around and showed you some of the really beautiful grave sites that are here, and I'm going to do that again today since it's been so many years since I've been here. Well, let me think. If it was 5 or 6 years ago and Johnny Crawford died 4 years ago, yeah, I was here just a year or so before he died and was interred here. It's hard to believe that he's been gone for 4 years now. He died from Alzheimer's disease at the age of 75 on April 29th, 2021. And his Finding Grave Memorial page says he died in Los Angeles, which is possible. He might have been in a hospital or hospice or something, but he lived here in Apple Valley. So I'm guessing he probably died out here in Apple Valley. I'm not sure though, so if any of you know where exactly he died, feel free to share with us in the comments. It would be nice to know. He was born on March 26, 1946 in Los Angeles. And if for some reason you don't happen to know who Johnny Crawford was, he started his career as a Mouseketeer on Walt Disney's Mickey Mouse Club TV show back in the 1950s. He was one of the 24 original members in 1955. As a kid, I remember very distinctly watching the Mickey Mouse Club and getting to know all the Mouseketeers, and it was one of my favorite shows as a young child, as I'm sure it was probably for all of you baby boomers watching. He went on to have a very successful career in show business. He was a very popular child actor and later an adult actor. He appeared in more than 50 movies and TV shows during his career, and he was also a singer. He had a number of hit songs, including Cindy's Birthday, which came out in 1962, and I think it was a top 10 or top 20 hit. It's still one of my favorite songs. He had such a great voice, very distinctive voice. And that's always been one of my favorite songs. And I still listen to it on my Spotify channel all these years later. Later in life, he started his own band. I think it was an orchestra, and they performed oldies but goodies band music, I think. I never did hear him perform live. I wish I had. Maybe some of you did. And if you did, please share with us again in the comments. I always like to hear personal stories about the famous people that I visit here in the cemeteries. As a kid growing up back in the 1950s and 60s, one of my favorite TV shows was The Rifleman, starring Chuck Connors as Lucas McCain and Johnny Crawford as his son, Mark McCain. Crawford was even nominated for an Emmy for his role on the show. I can't remember if I watched it when it first aired or if I was watching in reruns, but it seems like I watched it my entire childhood. So Johnny Crawford has a big place in my childhood memories and was one of my favorite actors on one of my favorite TV shows and one of my favorite singers. So when I learned that his ashes were interred here, I knew I wanted to come back and visit. It's about 2 hours from Palm Springs to get here to Apple Valley to the cemetery. But here I am all these years later visiting once again. But it's a nice drive and a very beautiful cemetery and definitely a great place to take another walk. You know, I love walking in cemeteries and to visit one of my favorite childhood actors and singers.